Welcome to the BeBattleReady Podcast, where we take a deep dive into what it takes to be battle ready in your lifestyle and in your business, so you can go to war on your life and the marketplace and win.
To another live edition of the BeBattleReady Podcast. I was inspired by a coach of mine to start this live series because we don't know what is coming down the pipe. And, one of the things that I want everybody else to do is be battle ready in what they're doing in their life, their business, all that stuff. And, I've been fortunate to be interviewed by Jon in the past on his podcast. So I finally brought him on mine. And I'll tell you a little bit about, I met Jon he has a company called Amplified Minds and a networking group that he did a lot for coaches and stuff. And, I think, he has a very powerful networking group, right? It's not one of these massive groups, but it's very powerful. He holds monthly masterminds. He was, and we'll talk about that. But, and he's got a lot of other things going on. So I just want to bring you on because, you're a great networker. It's your gig and all that stuff. So I just want to bring you on and welcome you on. And I want everybody to learn from you how to take their networking to another level and be battle ready for the next crisis if it comes. Maybe we have a complete yin and yang year, and it's a completely different 6 months, and we go from that. But we'll see, right? So welcome on.
Dude, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. And it's so cool to see how the world's come so full circle since I last interviewed you, and your business model, your incredible coaching structure is amazing. You do such a good job, and your platform and your progression and how you teach people is so phenomenal. I applaud you, and I hope that everyone listening learns from Anthony. I hope that they learn the battle ready processes, because this is so awesome. I'm just honored to be here and have you as a friend. And you mentioned how thick and incredible my network is. I'll just completely admit it's selfish, man. I want to be somebody who has the coolest friends in the entire world and be able to call them up at any time and be able to be with them. And so it really is selfish reasons, but we are building amazing things and teaching people how to turn their relationships into profits and prosperity. And so it's a fun mission to watch people succeed just by having fun and being together.
Yeah, I mean, it's a unique, your monthly masterminds, and these are like come and be a part of the mastermind. It's not like some high ticket mastermind. I mean, there's no charge to get in, and there's always a couple trainers there that really teach. You provide a great way to get to know each other, hold people accountable, and provide that support. And it was pretty fun attending it. Too bad it's not live anymore, but that's just the name of the game right now.
And what's funny about that is we didn't know it, but our free networking masterminds that we used to host, they were called the Profit Mastermind. We held them in Salt Lake City. We had one in Orem, and we had one up here in Park City. And the whole purpose of that was honestly so that we could develop a curriculum that would beat all of the rest, but mostly so that we would understand what helped people have success. And so it was more of just like a live case study. We were really working with great trainers and coaches to work with other entrepreneurs. And that was a really fun process, but we kind of beat the curve. We were prepared for a transition in moving to an online platform, though we stopped hosting our events in the middle of December. I think was the last one we had, just knowing that things were coming up the pipeline. We decided that we were going to evaluate all the stuff that we had learned in this live case study, and we recognized that we needed to shift to an online platform. That's why we invested in a little Zoom stock and got some more things coming down the pipeline that we've been working on. But yeah, it's been interesting. We've seen it coming since November. That's when the news started hitting, right?
Yeah.
But it really hit us hard in March. That was the time.
Wow, I'm pretty surprised you were that far ahead of it. I mean, what led you on to being that far ahead of the curve? Because I mean, it kind of broke out. And I remember hearing it, seeing videos. It was kind of around the time I started, early last year or mid last year getting on TikTok. And that's where a lot of the videos started coming out about it. So what really, how did you know that it was going to be a problem?
Well, what's funny is it had nothing to do with COVID. It had nothing to do with it. I mean, we didn't see the wave coming in the way it did. I knew that it would get out. We've lived through smaller pandemics, swine flu, a couple other ones transferred by mosquitoes and whatever. The West Nile, that was it, West Nile. But it had nothing to do with virus. It had to do with us looking at our platform and saying we are doing a lot of good, but we could do a lot better if we were on a virtual platform where we could reach anybody in the comfort of their own home or from their home office. And so we wanted to expand our reach as a company because, any business needs to grow. If you don't grow, you're stagnant. And if you're stagnant, your business may not adjust with the times. And so it was mostly just a business decision. We said, look, we need to start moving in a direction that's going to qualify us to be accessible to pretty much anyone. And we saw Zoom as an easy platform for that. We saw StreamYard as a great way of broadcasting. We saw a few other options that were going to lead us down that path. So it had nothing to do with the virus, though we had to make quick adjustments when that hit in March. But it mostly had to do with us self-evaluating and saying our business needs to project what we're doing and where we're heading. And therefore, I wanted to be on a global spectrum. And the only way to do that wasn't by traveling. That's exhausting. It was sitting in the comfort of our own home offices and broadcasting. So that's kind of what it came down to.
Now, did you have any metrics in place? Because that were telling you that, or was it just all gut? Did you have anything in place that was like that, where you're reading maybe your registration or any of those show up rates to your events or anything like that? What were you? Was that a part of it or what?
Yeah, so we were transitioning out. One of the biggest indicators of our free events, we learned that more people get more out of it and accountability increases when there's skin in the game. So we were already making the transition from offering free events to affordable paid for events and membership or year-long commitments. We were already making that transition. Some of the indicators that told us that, though, was a dip in attendance and it was a dip in retention, because we were meeting great people month after month, but what we weren't getting was a returning group of new people on top of the outraging and amazing fans who were continuous. And so as we started to see that, the indicator for us was people are being more conservative. We're getting closer to the holidays. It's the sniffle and sneeze season. So people are actually staying home a lot more. What do we do then? And then we just thought, you know what, let's connect with people so that when we're with them, we can be with them, but virtually. And so that was an indicator for us.
Awesome. So your initial, how did you come up with this idea of doing these events? Like, where did this come from initially? I mean, and how long have you been doing them? I know for about years.
Yeah. Well, it all started when I graduated college in 2015, and I jumped out into the corporate world, and I realized, I did the math. I was sitting at my desk. I'm the intern, right? I'm the newbie. I'm fresh meat. And I'm doing the math here. And I'm like, okay, that guy makes $1.5 million a year. He's been in this for this long. And he didn't get his break until he was about 55 years old. And I'm doing the math thinking, all right, I'm 30 years old. What the heck? Like, is it worth it? And I thought, there are better ways. And so I joined a mastermind group. My first mastermind group ever was introduced to me. And I had to Uber drive and go bag groceries just to afford it. But it was worth it because I got to sit in the room with other business owners, other entrepreneurs, other people who were excited and thrilled about the future. And together we brainstormed and we created avenues. within a month, I was able to quit my job. I tripled my income. I started multiple businesses, and I learned from that platform. And by the way, it all comes from this platform, which is good old Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. There's two chapters. There's 2 chapters that focus on mastermind groups. And just by taking his methodologies and the Dale Carnegie methodologies, I realized that all you got to do is treat people nice, be nice to people, be respectful, help people. And the more people you serve, the more people will serve you and help you reach what you're looking to do. So we just poured into that. And we said, let's do events, because that's where we can get people. And in these events, we can have fun. And that's just how you take care of people, is you have fun, you get to know each other, and you build these amazing relationships that lead to, like, this one, you and I, Anthony, is we get to chat, we get to brainstorm, but we also get to exploit marketing opportunities and raise awareness and use really cool podcasting platforms to really have valuable and incredible conversations. So it's phenomenal. So that's just our story. Why we did events is because we could attract people, and in those environments, we could have some fun.
Yeah. So looking forward with a possible, who knows what's coming, right? Crisis wise, there's been one thing after the other that's kind of shocked the world this year. How can someone be prepared with their networking, with, learning from what you've done to implement into their life, into their business?
Well, no one is an expert right now. Nobody knows exactly what it's going to look like. If I could tap into the crystal ball and see what the future is going to look like, I might play some bets on some sports teams. But yeah, man. But in the future, looking forward, I think the biggest mistake people are making right now is they're coming out of quarantine. They're coming out of social distancing. Some counties are in the green. Some are still in the yellow. Many are still in the red. But as they're coming out and they're starting to go back to normal life, they're going to assume the role of, I'm just going to do things the way I used to do. People are opting out to wear masks. Some people are going back to not washing their hands for 20 seconds, which is totally absurd, right? And then people are just going back to their normal habits. And habit is what's going to kill this race and this society, because they think the world was on pause, but the world is a completely different place, and the rules have changed. And it's not that you have to watch the news to keep up with the rules. What you've got to do is you've got to take care of yourself and take care of others around you. That's the new rule. The golden rule is now the new rule. It's funny because I've been pushing that since elementary school, but the golden rule is the new rule. So if you focus on taking care of yourself as well as taking others, because that's what you want treated unto you, then you're going to see this. And the world is different. I mean, we have to change our events. We have to respect COVID regulations. We have to do various things that are going to abide by a bunch of things. Otherwise, we'll get written up. We'll get shut down. I might get arrested. Something might happen. So being aware is helpful. You don't need to watch the news to be aware, but you do need to know how to take care of yourself and how to take care of others. And just by having self-awareness will set you ahead of the curve. Now, looking forward ahead of the curve, I think when another quarantine is required because of the level of spiked cases and death toll starts to rise again, I think people need to make plans on how they're going to connect and take care of other people, because essentially that's the world of sales. That's the world of marketing. That's the world of relationships and clientele, is what are you doing to take care of people? A lot of businesses missed out because the big groups, I mean, Zoom, let's take Zoom, for example. Okay. So Zoom, as soon as quarantine hit, they offered free pro package membership to their system for educators, anyone in the education space. And from March until May 5th, they had free Zoom capabilities. And now that they've become reliant on Zoom, these people have hosted classes, they conducted graduation ceremonies, they broadcasted live, they were able to do their grading. They now are converted to Zoom. They don't know anything else. And so when Zoom goes back to, okay, you've got to pay for an annual plan, these educators have no other choice but they've been taken care of. And so what a lot of people need to do with their business is, as we go into quarantine, realize that your business isn't going to be the same because you've got to slash your prices, or maybe you've got to start offering some benefited value to people that will help them through quarantine. Focus on helping people first so that your business can thrive.
I saw a lot of, especially, things drop, like as far as price wise, right?
Right.
And a lot more value came into it. And it was interesting seeing, like, maybe entrepreneurs that are ahead of me, really just pivot like that and do that in their journey, and having that awareness to kind of how to package that. It was almost like they're in their own mastermind and they're doing it all at the same time. But it was interesting. So what do you got going on right now? Like, what's happening with you?
Oh man, we're on fire. Well, I'll shove a foot in my mouth and take my own advice and say we realized a little too late that our services needed to be, offered free or at a major discount to help people, right? And so as we picked up the pieces and we're like, oh gosh, we shouldn't all be pushing, sales and marketing agendas. We should be focusing on helping people. And so we sent people hundreds of free books and ebooks. We started sending people ideas. I started going live every day from March until now, sharing content. And giving people free. Yeah, exactly. And it changed the game for me because I now have relationships with, I think, 5,000 more people plus from Facebook alone. And it's just, it's been really cool. But anyways, as we changed, we've also been building on the back end. So I took COVID. I was telling you backstage before we went live, I started working out more. I started taking care of my body and my immune system as most people should have. Right. And I dropped 25 pounds. I'm feeling great. But some of the things that we've been working on the back end, while everyone else is freaking out and watching news and stuff, we've been building opportunities. So we've got an actual launch coming up. We have our networking association, which is called the Champion Circle. The Champion Circle is a group that measures success on the accountability provided between members and ourselves. So where, other groups, you'll find measurements of referability. We take referability as a foundation, but we focus on accountability. So we're going to have fun. We're going to start launching our first membership meeting, which will be here in Salt Lake City on July 14th. And I'm just super pumped about that. Can't wait to actually be in person with other human beings and keep a social safe distance, but just be like in the same room, breathing the same air through a bunch of cotton masks, but I think it'll be really, really fun. That's one of the few things we got going on, other than we've got our big annual Amplified Minds Business Summit, where we're going to teach a lot of the principles of networking to people and just share some incredible, inspiring stories. So,
share us a little bit about the high level of what that's all about. Like what it takes to be a great marketer, a networker, and all that. Just like, since you've been in the game and you've been doing it, share that with us. What does that take?
Yeah, I hate to turn my back to the screen. Sorry, don't look at my backside. But
it's all right.
I think.
You dropped 25 pounds. You've been working out, bro.
Thanks, man. I squeezed my glutes on there. I'll grab 2 books from my library here. Just to preach a little bit, to be a good networker is how you take care of people. And I mentioned this before, but how to win friends and influence people isn't necessarily about the winning friends and influencing people. It's about treating people. I had a great conversation with a friend the other day, and it all starts internally. The way you treat yourself is oftentimes reflected in how you treat others. So loving yourself is number one. And we teach people to just be comfortable in their own skin. We teach them how to have fun in a professional environment, right? And then obviously we're all familiar with Bob Burg and the Go Giver series. And on April 10th, I had the honor of interviewing Bob Burg on an international stage, virtual international global summit. And it really helped me reflect and say, wow, like it is all about giving. And so networking isn't about passing out business cards, exchanging information, going through the game of follow up and going and setting up lunches and then getting to the pitch and then getting to the close. That's not what it's about. Networking is about having relationships with people. I was just, one of my clients, I have a client who's in the CBD industry, and this morning on their podcast call, we interviewed a gentleman who is an advocate for CBD and hemp and then some vapor shops, right? Some smoke shops. Yeah. And, I've never smoked in my life, but it was very, very fascinating because there are good things and there are bad things. Most people see the bad, but it was a fascinating conversation because he said that if you want to do things right, you don't go picket on the lawn of the Capitol. You don't go and, vandalize cars. You don't do this. What you do is you become respectable and professional friends with the influencers who have decision-making power. And that touched me because it made me realize, yeah, absolutely. It's not about how you say it. It's not about what you do. It's about who you know and how you treat them. Because at the end of the day, that is going to lead to, you becoming, a master networker, or someone whose net worth has grown just by the people who you know. And by that and the way you treat people, your wealth immediately goes up. Your happiness and joy always revolve around that. And there's a few other aspects of life that people don't even realize they were missing until they have the right people in their life. So networking, man, it's all about taking care of people. Who knew, right? It's all about taking care of others. And you don't have to buy somebody's product to network. You don't have to feel pressured to do this reciprocal, I scratch your back, you scratch my thing. But it's more so about creating opportunity. And creating opportunity is as easy as serving one another or opening up your network or giving each other resources or even just giving each other a ride, like sharing charity and quality with one another. That's what networking is all about. And that's why people miss the mark and they spin their wheels. They spend thousands of hours and dollars over years going to networking events and passing out business cards and pitching and closing. And all they needed to do was just show up to a small social circle with people who were relentless about success and to take care of one another and to focus on the truth and the knowledge and the perspective of moving forward in a better way. So that's really all it is.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I learned is I've had it done to me the wrong way, right? When they say, and you get that feeling and you're like, I know the pitch is coming, but just why don't we just get to know each other and that's it and not pitch and just kind of understand, develop that relationship. We're so focused on the short game and we get rid of the long view of what we're doing here. So,
they do say that patience is a virtue, and those who are willing to wield that virtue oftentimes find the true fruition that comes from, waiting, from listening, from being productive. I think that's essential.
Yeah. And, one of the other things I want to just share, because it's the way that you creatively done things is at Prosperity Gym. I know it's probably not able to do it now and, in person might not be there, but that was a really creative way to create a networking environment, right? Where did that come from?
Yeah, great question. So we've got incredible partners. We're involved in a lot of stuff. I mean, anytime we grow a business, that oftentimes allows us to have one person run that business while the next person shifts over and starts another project. So our hands are deep in a bunch of stuff. But we have a great partner. His name's Levi McPherson, who I know you're friends with and you're connected with. And Levi made let's just say it, he made his millions and he made his wealth from flipping businesses. What that means is he would go into your local Comcast division or branch, and he would turn that around and up the sales and increase their worth. He would go into a Domino's franchise and completely change their geographical footprint. He was really good at that. And so we gained a lot of mentorship and knowledge from Levi. And Levi taught us the principles of networking and a level. What he calls them the level of influence. And basically, there's 3 levels of influence. There's the one that everyone else is playing at. This is my bottom level. Everyone plays at this level. It's called transactional. Everyone's trying to sell everyone. Yeah. Everyone's impatient. Everyone's just trying to, get the quick buck, right? But then the next level up is what they call reciprocal. It's being a little bit more creative in your relationships. It's focusing on, you've got an audience, I've got a product. Why don't we both benefit by I taking my product to your audience, right? And it's more of a strategic way of saying, how can we work together and benefit moving forward? We call that the partnership level or the reciprocal level. And then the top level of influence that everyone should strive for is that they should strive for perpetualism, perpetual relationships, perpetual influence, which is, you know what? I'm going to be a go-giver. I'm going to give you everything I've got without expectation for return because I know that the universe will respond. I know that you'll take care of me. And I trust that what I give you, you'll take and you'll use and it'll benefit your life as well. It's a perspective. It's a paradigm shift. And when we go into relationships at a reciprocal level and build towards perpetualism, we oftentimes will find ourselves escalating to the top faster than we knew was possible because we put notions that are silly away. We put them behind us of, oh man, I've got to make sales. Oh man, I know that I've got an event coming up in 2 weeks and I'm not worried about selling tickets. I'm more so just hopeful that whoever does show up, that we will take care of them. And that's what I'm designing. I'm designing an experience rather than focusing and stressing out on sales and tickets. Right. So, that came from Prosperity Gym. To kind of answer what you were saying, Prosperity Gym and our Profit Mastermind events were an evolution process. We hope to continue to launch some of those divisions, focus in on a particular group and niche, but we've adopted all of those principles from both of those events, and we're carrying it forward in our new stuff, our summits, and in our networking association, which you'll see when you attend that, you'll see that, hey, I remember this from Prosperity Gym. We're identifying the profit channels in which we need to do. Hey, I remember this from Profit Mastermind. I remember sitting down in a closed group circle and actually getting work done. And then, oh, hey, I remember this from Jon's personal coaching that I've got an accountability partner and I've got an accountability buddy. So we've kind of taken everything we've learned and we put them all into one offer, one product, one position. Because it's we want to take care of people. That's all that matters to us right now. It doesn't matter what price is. It doesn't matter to us what next pandemic is going to hit. All that matters is that we can take care of the people within our reach.
Awesome. Well, anything you want to leave us with as we close off here?
I love giving away free stuff. And Anthony, thank you, by the way. I should spend this. What's that?
No cars.
Oh, dude, I'd love to give away a car. That's my goal in life. I'd love to get all right, for the next person who comments, you're going to win this Aston Martin or this Audi, right? This Ford F-150. Okay.
It's like the Diesel brothers. They give away all this stuff. It's pretty cool.
It is cool. I'm so jealous of where they're at in life because that will be awesome one day to give away. But no, man, I want to take a moment and just thank you for your time and your awesomeness. Again, for everyone who listens and watches this or watches the replay, know that the battle ready mentality and mindset is how, if anything, I interviewed Anthony over a year ago. And his battle-ready mentality and mindset has changed me. I've thought a lot about being ready for the next thing. I've thought a lot about having plans and I love following your structure from purpose to plan to playbook to platoon. With your background, it's so amazing. And I just want everyone to know that that's something that they should invest in, that it's something that they should follow because you've got it, man. You've got a great platform and structure. to your listeners, I would just offer that if you're looking for opportunities to learn and fasten your confidence in getting sales during this COVID season, a lot of you guys are probably in the hole. A lot of you are probably looking for another way to make income or money. We've written a book, an ebook that we can give you called The Mindset of a Successful Salesperson. We went through 6 of our favorite books on sales and mindset, and we gave you the Cliff Notes version and the applicable points to take away from those books. So you don't even have to open or buy the book. You can just get our free ebook, understand what the book's about, and then take it and run with it and hopefully make some money off of it. The way to do that is to go to amplifiedminds.com/mindset-book. I can send it here in the comments section. No, I can't do it, but that's okay. I'll actually I can. Ready? Boom! Here it comes in 5.
Yeah, you got it like a whole
/mindset-book. That should work. I'm gonna watch it come up.
There you go.
I just want to make sure that was the right one. But it's an easy read. You can snooze after 30 minutes of reading. It's a good little book, and we wrote it in design so that it would. Oh, it says page not found. So let me make sure I. Let me just make sure. I want to get everyone. Oh, that's why. You got to put the D in mindset, John.
Hey, I blame my computer. It's writing. It writes things I don't even try to tell it to write. So
right? Oh my gosh! All right, I'm going to retract that one so no one gets confused. You won't see it in StreamYard, but there we go. And then here's the new one. Boom, 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 boom. There you go. Mindset. So there you go. That will get you a free ebook. And I hope it helps. Like, honestly, I'm curious to all the hundreds of people who have downloaded this book, who have used it and who have come out and learned some things. But it's a great way to just learn some quick ways to, again, not focus on that transactional level of thinking, but focus on the reciprocal and the perpetual way of thinking, which will allow you to increase your life, your money, your sales, your prosperity, and all of that. But Anthony, man, thanks for your time. Thanks for having me on the show. You're awesome. I can't see the dividends, man, about you and what you're doing.
What you guys do, and what you guys are coming up with. Your events are always enjoyable, and and provide us value, and it's great. I can't wait to get back to another one, and we'll connect soon.
Awesome, man. Well, I'll send you the details and we'll get you to our next event. But let me know how I can support you too and support your followers and listeners.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Same. Talk to you soon.
Okay. Thanks, man.
This concludes another episode of the Be Battle Ready Podcast. If you're looking to put it all together across all the areas of your life and be battle ready, come get connected with powerful leaders in our Be Battle Ready Facebook group, where we will be dropping new battles to win each day.